Oh Lord, we are live and there is something I have never seen before. That's all that light up there. And it's because, welcome. Welcome to the second every Saturday is Small Business Saturday. Well, in the Celebrate Business Project community. Unfortunately, this Saturday, today, uh, I I am uh, in Cincinnati, Ohio, where uh, I don't know what the official feels like temperature is, but to me, it feels like 30 degrees below zero. The same feeling I had last year when it was 30 degrees below zero. And uh, it caused havoc. It caused a lot of havoc. So we are um, hopefully through the worst of that on this Saturday. If you are new to uh, our community, I started to, a friend of mine, uh, I was in I was in close to my last cardiovascular training class with uh, my friend Janet, and um, she said, "David, you need to." She's been listening to my stories forever, 14 years actually, and she said, "You need to go home and put your story together. Write a book. Put your story together." I said, "Well, okay, I'll go home." Well, I knew very well that I was not going to be writing a book to tell the story because I've already done that, uh, and it was fun. It was a great project, but uh, that was in 2007 when I did the book, and here we are, uh, 17 years later. Goodness. Here we are 17 years later, and to tell the story today, it's somehow with videos. We produce and publish a lot of videos. At one time, YouTube had 2,500 hours of my videos. They don't anymore. They haven't kept it all. I do have two YouTube channels, um, and well, I suppose I guess you're on. Well, you're on one of my two channels. You're on the main channel, and we will be all the broadcasts that we do from this point forth will be on this YouTube channel, and then we will take the URL that we create on YouTube's, and we will then publish those URLs wherever they need to be published, and uh, so that anybody that does a video with me, a 19-minute celebrate business project conversation about their business, not mine, about their business, I will give them the YouTube URL that we create and let them publish it anywhere that they publish now or should be publishing, or they should find new places to publish the URL to tell their story. And that's that's what we're all about. Well, uh, started writing my legacy. Well, what did my legacy stories? What it has evolved into is that I do a lot of postings in writing on uh, my Facebook profile and also my LinkedIn profile page. I publish in those two areas very often. I will also put um, YouTube URLs in both of those environments. Most of the time, I will be doing a Facebook Live, which will be on that computer. It wasn't today. It is on that computer today. Well, yeah, let's talk about that. Uh, Earlier this week, I had a extended conversation, video chat, Google Meet and Greet, as I call them, with Ying Zhu, who is the director, founder, creator of the tech incubator at Queens College. And we had a conversation, and she said, David, how can we bring the Celebrate Business project to Queens College, to New York City? And I said, that should be a relatively easy task for me, Ying Zhu. Uh, I have done a lot of things in New York City. All you and I need to do right now is find a community bank that will be the host sponsor, the co-producer with me as I come into New York City, and we we do a lot of things with the incubator when I come to New York City. So that's in the work. And then I might as well share now another conceptual proposal that I sent out. I took it to the post office yesterday. Was to um, a company uh, that I want to spend the entire month of April with in the Celebrate Business Project. Celebrate Business Project, the entire month of April, because April has been designated as National Small Business Week uh, by the Small Business Administration. They did that, I don't know how long, but for a long time, they have been designating certain months as National Small Business Month. And it just so happens that this year's Small Business Month, National Small Business Month, ends March 4th, which is the day, the Saturday after my May 3rd, 75th birthday, which will be symbolic of me my 75 years of celebrating business. All that's going to happen. So I propose to a company that I spend the first 2 weeks of April in the Cincinnati market where I am here. And I'm not going to tell you why, because that will give the company away. I would like to spend, I'm conceptually proposing to spend the last 2 weeks in Dallas and produced two of our Saturday shows in Dallas. I actually it was on my 74th birthday last year in Dallas. I was in Dallas for my 74th birthday, and I started to study that market, um, and I become fascinated with the market. It just so happens that my youngest son, and Kimberly, my youngest son Sam and Kimberly, and my three granddaughters live in Dallas. So, how much fun will it be to celebrate my 75th birthday in Dallas and end National Small Business Month with our every Saturday should be Small Business Saturday. So that's happening. That is happening as we speak. Uh, Here's a copy of the proposal. Proposal. It's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of fun things about that proposal that we hope to do in April of this year. So, since I'm in Cincinnati, uh, very cold Cincinnati, I wanted to share some stories about why I celebrate business. And I want to tell, I made some notes here. Oh, another thing, I was asked, what's the significance about thank you for 19 minutes of your time? And the significance of that is in 1978, I created a marketing and sales project for a magazine that I was going to publish. I started from scratch the magazine. So I started my marketing and sales in 78. And I put a team together. It's the only time in my life that I've had a team working, and I put a wonderful team together. We accomplished in 11 months unheard of things in the publishing business and in business in general. Name of the magazine, oh, it's behind. Now in Stark County. Now in Stark County Magazine. I wanted to share 5 stories of why I celebrate business. The first one is about there used to be in northeastern Ohio, where just coincidentally I was born and raised, a dairy by the name of Lawson's Dairy. They grew and they grew with convenience stores until one day Dairy Mart, a company in Connecticut, bought them. So it became Dairy Mart, kind of slash Lawson's. Well, it just so happens in 1984 and 1985, I put together a direct mail program for them those 2 years, and they loved it because they mailed out in excess of 20 million pieces in 2 years. Not all were on postcards. Many, actually, 3, 4 times a year, they would put out the same piece to the entire corporate, the entire 750 stores, the same merchandising piece. Uh, and then while we were waiting for the next one, that's when we went to work on stores that needed assistance for whatever reason, and we put together a very aggressive campaign where we were using the postcard to tell a story. um, and it brought folks into the stores. And well, one of the reasons why I celebrate business, that company is the only company that I've dealt with in the last 52 years. The individual who I was putting the project together with, uh, his title was VP of Marketing Sales. It's the only time in my 52 years where somebody has designated themselves the head of marketing sales, not marketing sales, but marketing sales. And we had a great experience. Obviously, we uh, created tremendous new volume of business in their stores. And that, that's a reason to celebrate. Another story, actually, at the same time that that was happening, down the road, I never thought about this. No, not, yes, that was down the road in Akron, Ohio. It's the first time I really put the two of those in perspective. Was there's, I think there still is a tire company called General Tire. And I had wanted to speak with somebody at General Tire about uh, direct mail. We had very aggressive things going with uh, Lawson's and Dairy Mart. Let's get aggressive things going with General Tire. So I finally identified who that individual was, and what was her name? Edna, at the front desk of the corporate offices. We became friends, and she said, "David, I can get you into his office right now. Do you want to see him?" I said, she knew that was a rhetorical question, and so I went up to Dan's office. No appointment. We had never met. I walked into his office, and he's busy behind his desk, and and he said, "Did you want to talk to me about direct mail?" And I said, "Sure. Yes, let's talk about direct mail. What's going on with you?" And he said, "Well, I'm trying to fix a problem right now with our direct mail because with our corporate stores, I can only get into the certain markets where Valpak at that time, Blue Envelope, where they had distribution. So that's where we have done it. But now I've got all these other stores that need coverage and help, and I can't reach them." So I smiled and I closed the door to his office. And I don't recommend doing this, but I closed the door to his office and said, "Dan, I'm not leaving the office till you and I have a collaboration going on." And he kind of smiled too. Well, it just so happens I was able to give him coverage, direct mail coverage, to all the markets that he was not able to get coverage with Valpak at that time. And we rock and rolled. He he did so well with that project, um, that within his company, he's a one person department in his company. Within his company, he got elevated, and the only thing that he did in his company was to open Sam's Club's stores with General Tires. That was his only job. So he traveled around, and we actually lost touch back then. I should try to find out if Dan's still around. Note to self. Um, Another reason. Oh, Value City Furniture. Another direct mail project. What year? Wow. What it must have been another Akron company. It must have been in 1985 and 1986 that we did a project with Value City. So they very brilliantly themselves came up with a 3-day event campaign to sell furniture. Obviously, that's what they did for a living. And they put it together with a bank. At that time, it was Barclays Bank, as I remember. I'm sure it was Barclays Bank. And they formed a partnership with Barclays Banks, and Barclays Bank had agreed to give credit to anybody that answered the letter. They were pre-qualified with this letter, and anybody that answered could come into a Value City store and buy furniture. It was unbelievable. The first time that we ran that campaign, I get called in to the office on Monday morning after the campaign had run Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I got called into the office of Value City Furniture, and there were 10 people sitting in the room, and my client Johnny, and Johnny just got I said to him, I said, you guys must be smiling. Well, I know why you're smiling. You sold a lot of furniture this last weekend. And Johnny piped in and said, yes, but David, do we really owe you $50,000 for that mailing? That's can't be like $40,000. And I had a smile on my face, and I looked at Johnny and I said, no, it can't. And he smiled, and we then talked about the next project that we were going to put together. But can you believe that? They do, I don't know how, they did way in excess of $1 million of selling furniture in 3 days. And that's a lot of furniture any day, any 3 days. But back in 85, it was a lot of furniture. And and the $50,000 I had put together as a price, he wanted a better price than that. That's fun. That was a lot of fun. Okay. Here's a great one. General Electric Appliances. What year did I go down in? They called me in sometime in the early 90s. I actually drove from Cincinnati to Louisville, Kentucky, where the corporate offices of General Electric Appliance were in the warehouse park there. And I was invited to come in and talk about customer care and putting, how do we talk to customers as we're selling to them, and that was my expertise back in those years. Still is my expertise. And so he goes on to present. I don't remember his name, but he goes on to present, and once again, a bunch of vice presidents in this meeting and me. And he goes and he describes a program of what they wanted to do, how they were going to do it, uh, this, that, and the other. And um, he said, will you put it together and make it happen from an execution process? And I looked at him and I said, no, I won't. Um, I don't. I don't think it's going to work the way that you have it outlined and what you presented as a conceptual proposal. And he got very angry with me. He said, "You mean you would say no to these vice presidents at General Electric Appliance, and your company would never be able to do business with us again?" And I said, if that's the case, I have no control over you making a decision with whom you do business with. I can, I do have control over what I can bring to the table in terms of doing business. So if we meet great, if we don't, both of our lives will go on. Um, did I finish? I don't know. Did I finish this story about thank you for 19 minutes of your time? No, I finished that story. We put together a 19-minute. I had a team of 15 other folks. We put together a video. What do we call it back then? A multimedia presentation is what we called it back in those years, 1978 to be exact. And it was 19 minutes long. So I sent a postcard out to folks and a letter. Well, I was testing a letter versus a postcard, I think is what I was doing. I sent both of them out with the theme, thank you for 19 minutes of your time, asking them to come to, uh, at that time, the Cultural Arts Center in our community for wine and cheese after business. 19 minutes of time after business, I'm going to serve you wine and cheese. Well, if I remember correctly, approximately 750 folks said yes, we'll be there. I don't know. I didn't get that many people actually responding to me, but that's how many people showed up over 5 nights. Not all at one time, but over 5 nights. It was a wonderful experience, and it really was the major thing that we did to launch our magazine. Well, another thing that we did, we bought. I bought a 9-section billboard advertising. Back then, billboards you painted a section and put it all together. And I bought 9-panel boards, 9-panel boards, 3x3, uh, about the magazine, leaving the bottom panels changeable because the salesman who sold me the program said that if I all I had to do was give him panels of paper and he would put them up on billboards that were not generating revenue for him. I said, "You do that for me?" We ran a campaign. I don't even know how many billboards were actually bought. Way more than I had bought. Way more. But it was a wonderful campaign, and it was simple and worked. And billboards and cocktail, wine and cheese. It'll work every time. I don't know if it still works. I don't know if it still works. We'll have to try to figure that out one day. There was one other story, real quickly. I was called in to um, build a campaign for a company that manufactured, they were the largest manufacturer of caskets, funeral caskets in the country at the time. They were called, their name was Batesville Casket. And actually, it was once again a drive for me from since a short drive to go to their corporate offices. I only met with one person at that meeting. And he said, David, I've got a problem. Can you help me on this problem? I said, well, what's your problem? Let's hear. And he went on to share a marketing and sales concern that he had. And I said, in today's war, I didn't say in today's war, I said, that's a rough one. That is an extremely rough one. At that time, we did not have internet access to do a program, and internet access would have solved that problem, but we didn't have it back then because Batesville Casket, their customers were obviously buying caskets, but some of their customers were also buying a program that they put together to sell burial insurance. Not all of them, but some of them. So they wanted me to separate the two out so that one wouldn't know about the other one. And that the funeral industry did not know that only a part of them were selling insurance. And that we could have done it, as I said, with the internet would have been very easy to do, but did not have access. So I never came up with a marketing and sales solution for that one. Maybe I'll go and see if Batesville, Indiana needs one now in today's world. I don't even know if they're around. I have no idea if they are still around. Well, that's going to be it for this Saturday. Interestingly, 32 minutes and 19 seconds of this Saturday. Thank you for your time. Thank you for coming and sharing your time, and hopefully there are some takeaways from what you heard today, what you've seen today. If one thing I will encourage, if you would like to talk about something about business, preferably marketing and sales of that business, your business, any business, but please contact me and we can have a conversation that can be a Facebook Live, could go on LinkedIn, could be published anywhere, digitally published anywhere. That's something that I will use all the help in the world on that one. Thank you. Thank you for your time. And we'll see you the next time, which way back when I was in the publishing business, Jaime Williams, who I bought a sports column from when I was publishing, I bought a column from him. He used to say, next time may very well be the best time. See you then.